Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to the 10th standard English lesson A Hero. My dear student, in this class we shall study about the sixth part or the last part of the lesson A Hero. Before going to start this class, let us glance once again what we had discussed in the part 5th or in the last class. Dear student, in the last class we had discussed about the tricks of Swami, how he had used the tricks to escape from his father. Meanwhile, how Swami's father did not accept or did not allow Swami to sleep as Swami likes, and how Swami uses to change his subject from sleeping in the office room to the playing cricket club. So these were the things we were discussing in the last class. Along with that, when Swami's father ordered finally, he decided to sleep in the office room. When he was about to sleep in the office room, he remembered all the ghost stories in the night. He did not have a wink of sleep in the night. He remembered all the ghost stories when he was slept in the office room, and also that he was disturbed by the night mates when he was slept under the bench, and these were the things we discussed in the last class. See, when he came to know that there was a moving creature coming towards his table, when Swami realized that the moving creature was defined as a devil by Swami, he came out of the under the bench and he hugged the moving creature tightly and bite to its ankle. Till that we discussed in the last class. My dear student, in the class 6th, let us start model reading and explanation in this class. Dear student, open the page number 8. Let us go through 14th para. Read on. Ayyo, something has bitten me. Went forth an agonized thundering cry, and was followed by a heavy tumbling and falling amidst furniture. In a moment, father, cook, and a servant came in, carrying light, and all three of them fell on the burglar, who lay amidst the furniture with a bleeding ankle. Congratulations were showered on Swami next day. His classmates looked at him with respect, and his teacher patted his back. The headmaster said that he was a true scout. Swami had bitten into the flesh of one of the most notorious housebreakers of the district, and the police were grateful to him for it. The inspector said, "Why don't you join the police when you are grown up?" Swami said, for the sake of politeness, "Certainly, yes." Though he had quite made up his mind to be an engine driver, a railway guard, or a bus conductor later in life. When he returned home from the club that night, father asked, "Where is the boy?" "He is asleep." "Already?" "He did not have a wink of sleep in whole of last night," said his mother. "Where is he sleeping?" "In his usual place," mother said casually. "He went to bed at 7:30. "Sleeping beside his granny again?" father said. "No wonder he wanted to be asleep before I could return home. Clever boy." Mother lost her temper. "You let him sleep where he likes. You need not risk his life again," father mumbled as he went in to change. "All right, Molly Cuddle, and spoil him as much as you like. Only don't blame me afterwards. Swami, following the whole conversation from under the blanket, felt tremendously relieved to hear that his father was giving him up. My dear student, did you find any difficult words or new words? List out me. Okay, dear student, did you find any words? Good. I have also listed out some new words here. See, tumbling means falling helpless. Then a scout, one who is trained in doing acts of a public service. Notorious, evil-minded, not have a wink of sleep, could not sleep in the whole night. Cuddle, treat someone very kindly and protect the person too much from anything unpleasant. Tremendously, extremely. Dear students, these are the new words as I listed down. Okay, let us go to the explanation. In the last class, we were discussing about how Swami felt bad experience. According to him, it was bad experience. See, when he decided that the under the bench, the place of under the bench was the safest zone to sleep. When he put to sleep under the bench, he remembered and he had frightened some nightmares. In the nightmares, as we discussed, a tiger was chasing him. So he could not do anything else. So what did he do? Then unknowingly he slept in the night. But he could hear the sound. The sound was nothing but someone was coming towards him, or someone was opening the door of the room of his father. Then he felt very bad about that. He lay gazing at to the place where the moving creature was coming towards. Then he went towards that. He hugged that moving creature tightly and he bit to the ankle of the moving creature. This moving creature is nothing but, we could say that, man. So when Swami had bitten to the ankle of the moving creature, then what would be the response of the person or the moving creature, or we may say man? Ayo, something has bitten me, went forth an agonized thundering cry. Then there was a thundering cry, there was a loud cry, cried by the moving creature. He is none other than the burglar. Who is burglar, dear student? Burglar is nothing but a man or a thief who enters into the building in order to steal. It is nothing but a thief who enters into the house in an illegal way to steal something valuable things in the house. He enters there. Swami bitten to the ankle of the burglar. Then he cried in a loud voice, like, "Ayo, something has bitten me." Then when all the member of the family heard the voice of "Ayo," something is like this, all of them nothing but Swami's father, then house cook and then house servant, all of them, they rushed to the office room to see what had happened in the office room. Then was followed by a heavy tumbling and falling amidst the furniture. See, unfortunately, the burglar, since there was a clear light, there was not a clear light, he fell on the furniture, in between the furniture. In a moment, father, cook and the servant came in the carrying light. All of them who were there in the family or who were there in the house, they came with carrying light. And all three of them fell on the burglar, who lay amidst the furniture with a bleeding ankle. Dear student, we could see bleeding ankle since Swami had bitten to the ankle of burglar, they could see running off blood. So all of them, Swami's father, then cook and their servant, all of them, they fell on the burglar because they couldn't recognize burglar since it is a dark place. Then congratulations were showed on Swami the next day. My dear student, you could observe here. See, in the first line of the lesson, the newspaper incident took an unexpected turn to Swami's life. So this is the unexpected turn. See, Swami usually he likes to sleep beside his granny. Whenever changes happen, there would be frightening, there would be fear in the Swami's heart. So this is actually what Swami is. But here, unfortunately, Swami caught the burglar. He hugged the burglar tightly and he had bitten to the ankle of the burglar. Since he had bitten to the burglar, he cried in a loud voice. When all of them heard the loud voice, crying voice of the burglar, all of them came to the office and they thought that Swami had caught the burglar. See, congratulations were stored on Swami the next day. See here, hero. Here Swami is not actually a hero. Unexpected, he becomes a hero over a night. He had bitten to the burglar. This incident made Swami to a greatest hero in the lesson. Then when he goes to the school next day, see all the friends, all the teachers in the school, as well as the headmaster in the school, they looked at Swami in a great respectful way. See how they gave him congratulations, how they greeted Swami congratulations. His classmates looked at him with great respect. So when Swami entered into the classroom in the next day, all the friends of Swami, they stood up and gave him a great respect because Swami had done something else in the last night, as well as he had become a hero. Every friends in the classroom, they felt very tremendous about Swami. And his teacher patted his back. His class teacher came to Swami and patted on the shoulder of Swami so that he had done a great job by catching the burglar in the last night. The headmaster said that he was a true scout. My dear student, scout, what is meant by scout? So here, come to the glossary. One who is trained in doing acts of public services. See, we had discussed in the earlier. One who is trained in doing acts of public services. My dear student, this kind of one-word answers will be asked for your examination. Please underline this one and memorize this line carefully. Scout. Once again, one who is trained in doing acts of public services. Here, Swami is being admired by as a true scout by his headmaster of the school. Swami had bitten into the flesh of one of the most notorious breakers. See, why were congratulations showed on Swami the next day? So this is the reason, because Swami had bitten into the flesh of one of the most notorious housebreaker of the district. The whole police department of the district was awaiting to the burglar to catch him, but unfortunately they could not. But fortunately, Swami caught him, and Swami handed over this burglar to the police officer. That is why Swami became a true scout according to the headmaster. And then notorious, here my dear student, we can observe the word notorious. What is meant by notorious? As I told, evil minded, a dangerous minded. Here, what is the opposite of the word notorious? Come here, see antonym of the lessons. Notorious, famous. Very good. What is the opposite of the word notorious? Famous. Then cry, laugh. So these are the opposite words of the lesson. And then See, every district is searching for the burglar. Today, according to the grace of Swami, caught him and handed over to the Britishers. So that is why handed over to the polices. These polices were very grateful to Swami. Here, the word great. Come here, dear student. Homophone of the great. See, what is called a homophone? As we discussed in the last class, homophones are the words which we pronounce alike but different in spelling and meaning. Here, steal, steal, break, break, great, great, whole, whole, right, right, lose and lose. See, these are the homophones as I listed out in this lesson. My dear student, so all the great polices were very grateful to Swami's deed or his work. The inspector said, "Why don't you join the police when you are grown?" See, police, especially inspector, he felt very happy about Swami's work. And Swami, the police officer, the inspector asked Swami, "Why don't you join the police officer when you are grown?" Why he By dear student, by seeing all these activities of Swami, the inspector said to Swami, and the inspector asked Swami why he did not join the police department when he was grown up. So police officer expected Swami's arrival to the police department, but Swami actually he did not intend to be a police officer in the future. But actually, what he intended in his early life, what he had planned in his early life when he was grown up, it will come in the next slide. Swami said for the sake of politeness, when the inspector asked Swami, "Swami, why you did not want to be a police officer when he was grown up?" When he asked like that, Swami felt very proud of himself, because Swami thinks that everybody is knowing that how he is very attractive and how he had done a great job to the society. So that is why Swami felt very proud about himself that he had done a great job. Actually, unfortunately, he had done a great job. Then here he says, with a great sake of politeness, "Certainly, okay, Inspector, certainly, actually I wanted to be a police officer." He says, "Yes, but though he had quite made up of his mind to be an engine driver." Actually, Swami, he did not plan to be a greatest police officer, but he planned to be just an engine driver, a railway guard, or a bus conductor later in his life. He had planned. He want to become what? Conductor, or a railway guard, or a engine driver. Then, when he returned home from the club that night, when the father returned home from the club in that night, then what had happened in the house? So, whether Swami slept again in the office room of his father, or again he slept beside his granny as usual, let us see. When he came back from the club to the night, father asked, "Where is the boy?" Father is very curiously asked, "Where is the boy?" again. Then replied by mother, "He is asleep." My dear student, he is asleep. He has already slept. What is the opposite of the word asleep? Very good. Awake. Actually, Swami has already slept before his father come from the club. Father asked about that. Already, Swami already slept. He asked his wife. He did not have wink of sleep the whole of last night. See how Swami's mother protects Swami. Swami's mother replied to Swami's father that he did not have wink of sleep. He did not have sleep in the last night. That is why he went to the bed very early today. She said his mother, where is he sleeping? So this is the question asked by Swami's father. Where was he sleeping? Then, in his usual place, mother replied that in his as usual place. See, dear student, what is the as usual place where Swami used to sleep? Very good. His usual place is nothing but beside Granny. Beside Granny in the passage. He went at 7:30 before his father come to the bed. In his usual place. Dear student, what is the opposite of the word usual? Very good. Unusual. Here. Usual, unusual is the opposite word. My dear student, you must listen carefully. You must give more importance to the antonyms, because one marks question will be asked for your antonyms or opposite in our examination. So carefully listen about that. Mother said casually. He went to the bed at 7:30. Swami went to the bed at 7:30, very early. Sleeping beside his granny again. Father again he sneered. Again he became very angry against the nature of Swami. Swami's father wanted to make Swami to cultivate some good courageous qualities. Whereas Swami did not ready to accept all these courageous qualities. But he wanted to be very simple life. He wanted to always sleep beside his granny. Sleeping beside his granny again, father asked. Again, Swami had slept beside his granny. No wonder he wanted to be asleep before I could return home. Clever boy. Swami's father, just when he came back from the club, he searched Swami and asked his wife where was Swami slept. Swami already he slept as usual place beside his granny. Swami's father felt very tremendously because Swami was very clever boy. Why he was clever boy according to Swami's father? Because he already slept beside his granny before his arrival at 7:30. So he was very clever according to Swami's father. Yes, really Swami is very clever boy, because how can we say that he is a very clever boy? But dear student, we can observe from the beginning of the lesson. So initially he says that the village lad, when he faces a tiger, when he was returning from the jungle path, see that when father said that, Swami did not accept the theory of Swami's father. He replied that he was not a boy at all. He must be a grown-up person or a very strong person. And then he uses many tricks. He wanted to change the subject from sleeping in the office room to the playing of the cricket game. And then he uses many tricks. He wanted to sleep from the first of the next month. And he requested Swami's father to leave the door open. And then he requested Swami father to switch on the light in the hall. So these are the tricks used by Swami. By observing all these tricks, we can say that he is a very clever and very tricky boy. Yes. And then, so he is a very clever boy. Mother lost his temper. See, when father asked again and again Swami, when he came back from the club, mother lost her temper. She lost her patience. Then she said that, you let him sleep where he likes. Mother asked her husband not to give him too much of trouble, let him to sleep where he likes. So then mother supported Swami to sleep where Swami likes. Actually, dear student, where Swami likes to sleep? Very good. Beside his granny or his mother in the passage. You need not risk his life again. Then she asked her husband that he should not give any risk to his life again and again. Father mumbled as he went into the change. Father, he came to know that nobody is supporting to Swami's father. He felt very bad about that. And he said that himself, he mumbled, he speaks himself. Alright, he says alright, Molly Cuddle, and spoil him as much as you like. Molly Cuddle. So what is meant by Molly Cuddle, dear student? So usually our parents or our grandparent, they used to use these words in our grandchildren or their children in their houses. Molly Cuddle means treat someone very kindly and protect the person too much from the anything unpleasant. See, protecting the person from the unkind way or unpleasant things. ಅಂದರೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಂದರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನು ತುಂಬ ಮುದ್ದು ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. And spoil him as much as you like. Swami's father asked his wife to spoil him as you like. Then only don't blame me afterwards. And also he puts a condition to his wife that you should not blame me after he is grown up. So he says like that. See, when this conversation was going there, what Swami was doing? Do you think that Swami has already slept? No, dear student, look at the next line. Swami following the whole conversation from under the blanket. Yes, he really tricky. He is very smart and very clever boy. Why? When the whole conversation was going there outside the blanket, under the blanket, Swami was not slept at all. He was listening the conversation what had taken place between his mother and father. Under the blanket, felt tremendously. See, he felt very tremendously. What is mean by tremendously? Dear student, extremely relieved. Relieved is nothing but relief. He felt extremely relief that Swami's father left him to sleep where he sleeps. To hear that his father was giving him up. Why did Swami feel tremendously or extremely relieved? Because Swami thought that Swami's father had given him up. So Swami thought that Swami, from today onwards, Swami's father did not ask him to sleep again in his office room. So this will be the last condition of the father, Swami thought. So that is why by giving him up, Swami felt very happy and relief about that. My dear student, this is the now we have come to an end of the lesson. I hope that you would understand the class very well. And let us glance once again the homophones what I have listed out in the lesson. Steal, break, great, all, right, lose, and lose. And then here, see some of the antonyms as I listed out, dear students here. Cry, laugh, fall, rise, light, dark, notorious, famous, before, after, like, dislike, usual, unusual, under, over or above. These two, sometimes these two will apply. And then the present tense V1, past tense V2 and past participle V3. Here I have listed out fall. What is the past tense of fall? Or V2 form of fall is fell. V3 form of fall is fallen. Then bite. What is the past form of bite? Or what is the V2 form of bite is bit. And then biten. Past participle form of bite, biten. And then go. Past form of go is went. Very good. Then past participle form of go is gone. And then present form grow. Past form grew. Past participle grown. Very good. Then make present. Past form made. Past participle made. Return in present. Past form returned and past participle returned. Then lose present. Then past form lost. Past participle again lost. Very. Bring in present. Brought in past. Past participle also brought. Then buy again past. Bought. Then it remains bought in a past participle column. Good. Laugh. Laughed. Then find. Found. Again remains found in past participle. So these are the grammar aspects, my dear students, which appear in the context. My dear student, I hope that all of you understood the lesson. Today's homework is write the questions which are appearing in the page number 9. Share your responses. 1. Who cried, "Ayyo, something has bitten me"? Then second one, who did father, cook and a servant stumble upon? Third question, why were congratulations showered on Swami? Then fourth one, do you think Swami really wanted to join the police? If not, what did he want to be? And then fifth one, did Swami muster up courage to sleep alone after the burglar incident? And then sixth one, who supported Swami, his mother or his granny? Along with that, one more question, seventh question. Now, I will put the seventh question as your homework. How were the congratulations showered on Swami next day? I will repeat once again as a seventh question. How were the congratulations showered on Swami next day? So these are the 7 questions as your homework. I hope that you understood the class very well, and in the next class we will meet with the next lesson or a next poem. Thank you.